All right, let's get started, Sam. So to kick us off, my name's Shane Hagan. I'm a solution architect with the Cleo team, hosting the webinar today, being kind of our MC. So I'm going to welcome everyone. Let you know that you are in broadcast mode, so you can't interact directly with us, but we do have a Q&A section. So as my colleague Sam here goes through the demo and the webinar, please post any questions that you have in the Q&A section, and we have some time at the end to review those questions and answer any questions you post in there. I'll also mention the webinar is being recorded, and we will share out the recording after the webinar wraps up, maybe an hour or so after the webinar ends. You'll get that link. You can also share that with anybody that wasn't able to attend. And lastly, I'll mention that we do these webinars every other week, and they all have various topics. This week, we are doing a CIC for Food and Bev webinar that Sam will be leading here. But check out the webinar schedule to see the other topics that we have coming up. All right. So with all of that, I'll pass it over to Sam to get us started.
Perfect. Thank you, Shane. Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday. My name is Sam Wojcik, based out of Chicago, Illinois, also on our solutions team. Been with Clio for a little over 2.5 years, but it's a pleasure to be with you all here today. I first want to start by just giving a quick overview of the Clio Integration Cloud platform. The Cleo Integration Cloud platform is really that end-to-end ecosystem integration solution that can be used for really any B2B supply chain purposes. For any of our existing customers as well, this solution encapsulates all of our data movement and data translation capabilities. It's our application agnostic solution. So regardless of your backend systems, we do offer a variety of integration methods. And then as well on the trading partner side, whether you're doing EDI, having API connections, or working with non-EDI partners, we do also have a variety of options as well. Regarding our Cleo Integration Cloud solution, today I'll be covering the cockpit, which is our visibility dashboard. But before we get to that demonstration, I do just want to set the stage around some of Clio's capabilities, specifically in the food and beverage industry. So just to touch on a couple of these food and beverage outcomes with Cleo Integration Cloud solution, I think the biggest thing that we really benefit is the retailer compliance and the ability to ensure that every single transaction that you're sending and receiving will adhere to your retailer's compliance and help mitigate a lot of the chargebacks that may be received. And that's another area that we'll touch on later on in the demo. Secondly, regardless of where your business is at, Cleo Integration Cloud offers the ability to scale. Regardless of how many transactions you guys are potentially doing or where you're going to be growing into, Cleo's solution really is that, I guess, future-proof sort of solution where, again, regardless of back-end systems, partners that you're connecting to, or any sort of B2B compliance that needs to be adhered to, the Cleo Integration Cloud platform can support that. To dive a layer deeper around food and beverage specifically, I do just want to touch on these 7 critical use cases. Specifically for the food and beverage world, we understand that there's a lot of, I guess, unique situations, specifically around like catch weight conversion or temperature-based freight that needs to be tracked. And I know a big topic in the food and beverage space is the FSMA compliance. Cleo Integration Cloud, the platform can help adhere to all those through, again, the various integrations that we provide, whether we're connecting to a traceability tool, whether we're exchanging data with some of your logistics carriers and we need to keep track of temperatures, whether it's SLA compliance for your retailers or even some of your suppliers that you may be buying raw goods from to make your materials or make your food and beverage products. We do offer, again, just a variety of different ways to tackle some of those issues, and they're all very well capable through the Cleo Integration Cloud platform. But without further ado, I do want to jump into the platform here. So let me go ahead and switch over. So the screen that I have here is the Cleo Integration Cloud dashboard. This is the 30,000-foot view into all of your B2B transactions, again, across retailers, suppliers, logistics partners, you name it. Any sort of supply chain transaction that is going through your own ecosystem can be handled on Cleo's platform. And these first few tiles at the top here, I do want to touch on. They are surrounding some of our SLA management capabilities. Again, especially in the food and beverage space, we understand that a lot of the major retailers are very strict in terms of the mandates that they'll put on their vendors in terms of on-time invoicing or on-time shipments or on-time acknowledgments. So we want to ensure that our customers stay compliant and are able to continue doing business with their biggest customers and avoiding costly chargebacks or really any other penalties that could be put onto them by their retail partners. So a few things that we do just throughout the past 60 days, as you guys can tell, we are tracking activity in terms of SLA requirements that are met, along with SLA requirements that are missed. We want to keep track of things that might be going wrong to allow our customers to take some preventative measures in the future to avoid these chargebacks and issues. To go even a layer deeper, we do track financial risk associated to these SLA penalties. So again, here, these are just a few metrics, and this is just our demo environment. But as you can tell, we are tracking days where SLAs are missed and penalties are incurred, and the associated financial risk with those penalties. Further below, another neat feature is our anomalies. So if you're typically sending, in this case, invoices to Walmart, and it's 20 to 30 invoices a day, that's normal business. But for example, one day maybe 73 invoices go out or only 6 invoices go out. We do want to track that for our customers as well, as that allows them to keep an eye on the things that might not be usual and could affect business in terms of those key retail relationships. While I'm on this screen, I do also want to mention that this is a predominantly IT-focused solution, but in Cleo's eyes, we want to empower a variety of business units at your organization. So this dashboard can be configured on a per-user basis and can be tailored to logistics departments, procurement departments, sales departments, finance departments, and really allow those other teams to self-serve and find the data that they're looking for without being reliant on an IT team to go dig that up. So we do provide a variety of metrics that can be displayed here. I'll just scroll through this really quickly, but we offer a lot of options, again, just to get that 30,000 view look into all the supply chain activity that is ongoing at our customer's organization. To take a look at some of the messages, this is where all of the file activity will occur from a visibility standpoint. We do offer a variety of filtering options. So whether somebody is looking for strictly inbound or outbound files, files that may have failed, any SLAs that may be at risk, along with specific messages, we do empower our users to easily find those. So again, if any data is needed, there isn't this giant search through logs to go find a specific document or see how a specific partner is doing business. We really try to make things as easy as possible on that front. But specifically, I'm going to pick one of our Publix grocery orders and show you guys a quick look into what that file lifecycle looks like from receiving an order until the invoice. So looking at this document, this is the inbound grocery order from Publix, and all the data that we're surfacing here lives within the existing EDI file. This can be customized on a per organization basis. So perhaps, especially in the food and beverage space, we want to see the batch lot number, and that would be in the order acknowledgement. But whatever data your team may want to surface here that lives within the EDI file is totally possible to do. And again, the idea around this is kind of limiting a lot of the technicalities around EDI and making it as simple as possible to understand what's being ordered, where does it need to be shipped to, what goods might it specifically be. So again, anybody who's not too familiar with EDI will still have an understanding of what's going on from a supply chain or an EDI basis. Again, all of the documents within a transaction are going to be linked together. So there isn't a lot of searching that needs to go on to find a corresponding acknowledgement or an ASN or the invoice. We're going to link any associated documents together to help with that ease of use. As I previously mentioned, we're going to surface whatever data our customer wants within here. If there is batch lot codes that need to be surfaced, anything from a traceability standpoint that needs to be included here, Cleo can handle that without a doubt. And it's really up to your organization what sort of information wants to be included in here. On the note of temperature controlled freight, if that information needs to be surfaced, we can 100% do that as well. Similarly with the ASN, we're surfacing some information here along with the invoice. Obviously, all of these documents went through their process without any issues, but assuming we did have a file with issues, we do show all of the log information as a way to quickly resolve some of the errors or identify where errors may have occurred. And this works throughout the entire process, from receiving the document through the transformation step, all the way out to our trading partners. The next area that I want to touch on is our error resolution and issue handling. Similarly to our messages tab, we do have a variety of filtering options. So whether somebody is looking for new issues, current issues, or anything that's still open, we make that as easy as possible to do on a per document basis, along with specific errors. So if somebody is looking for specific mapping failures, they can easily search through our filters here on the issues tab. But to click into one of these errors, we can get a better idea of what Cleo is going to be tracking from an error resolution standpoint. So we can quickly see on this mapping failure that there was a transformation error. 424 messages or jobs were impacted, and we give a nice summary as to what specifically caused this error. So as we can tell, there was a ZZ value in the field purpose code bag 01, but that field was expecting a decimal type, not a ZZ value. So if we scroll a little bit lower, we can see again, mapping failure, where the exact failure occurred. And then a neat thing is our resolution and recovery capabilities. So we will give resolution, I guess, assumptions or guidelines on how to best resolve some of these errors. So the recommended fix options, we'll go ahead and notify the team of where those errors occurred. And then we have a nice ability here to really quickly resend any of those impacted messages as soon as that resolution is made. The nice thing about this, regardless of service levels, if your team is handling all the error resolution or if Cleo's team is handling all the error resolution, you'll have the same sort of visibility into the actual error resolution processes and how our teams go about making a fix. Again, the whole idea is keeping everybody on the same page, but also finding a resolution as quickly as possible. As we understand, as volumes increase, the need to keep things as streamlined as possible is even more important. The next area that I want to cover, and as I mentioned earlier, around some of our SLA management features. So if I jump over to this Partners tab, we can see from a high level, again, bear with me, this is just our demo environment, but we can see how we're performing across all of our partners for a variety of different metrics. So specifically for on-time invoicing, we can see how many specific invoices may have been late, along with the financial risk associated with those invoices, and really our timeliness, our customers' timeliness in terms of sending out invoices, responding on time, and making sure that they adhere to their retailers' mandates from an SLA standpoint. Again, these metrics vary across on-time shipment, on-time invoicing, and a variety of others, whether this is on the retailer side, the supplier side, or even with some of your carriers. Specifically to set these up at a per partner basis, As we understand, a lot of your retail partners may have specific SLAs just to them, and it may vary on a per partner basis. I'll just go ahead and click on this 3M partner as they are set up with our retailer relationship manager feature. On this page, obviously there are no transactions flowing, but if they were, you could tell on a per partner basis. But from a retail relationship manager perspective, we can define specific metrics. For example, if we know that our retail partner is going to fine us within a day of not sending that shipment notice, we could adjust that here. Perhaps it's maybe hours. We can make those changes. And these can, again, be configured on a per partner basis. So the idea is that each partner has their own SLAs, and our customers get to track them specifically to those requirements. Instead of some large overarching SLA management tool, we want to get into the details and understand that each partner is going to have their own requirements, and they each need to be tracked separately. Tying into the financial impact that we saw earlier, we can associate fees if we know those as well from those partners as a way to stay on top of any of that financial impact for a finance department that may be interested, or really any other departments that are keen to know some of the SLA impacts that they may be facing. Other than on-time shipment, again, we do have on-time order acknowledgement and on-time invoicing from a retailer perspective. But assuming you use CIC to integrate with or connect with some of your suppliers, whether they're sending you packaging material or they're actually sending you the raw goods that go into your food and beverage products, we do also offer supplier relationship manager metrics as well. On the note of suppliers, the only difference that would change from a CIC perspective is simply the directionality of the flows. Today, for this Publix example, we're receiving inbound grocery orders, but we could also track all of our outbound purchase orders to our vendors. Really a nice way to take all of the supply chain processes that our customers are doing and put them under one umbrella. The idea of having a one-stop shop for all of those supply chain processes, and really a centralized source to understand how the supply chain is doing on a day-to-day basis. Understanding which partners might need more attention due to their strict SLAs, or their unique compliance requirements, on the retail side or even the supplier side. The last thing I want to mention on this is our ability to support non-EDI partners. Again, we understand that across an organization's large ecosystem in their supply chain, they may work with a variety of smaller organizations that are unable to support typical EDI transactions. We are able to handle those non-EDI flows. And from a CIC perspective, they would show up just the same. So it's this idea that regardless of your partner, regardless of logistics, retailer, supplier, and regardless of EDI compliance or not, you'll have a central source to view all of these supply chain transactions, track all of your relevant traceability information, and stay on top of FSMA compliance, and really anything else that needs to be tracked and monitored from a farm to retailer sort of flow, all well capable within Cleo's Integration Cloud platform. There aren't too many other areas I do want to cover on this, but again, from a high level, regardless of using a different Cleo solution today or using an entirely different solution, Cleo Integration Cloud allows our customers to tackle all of their supply chain needs in a single source and have visibility into everything that's going on across their supply chain. It's not just about order to cash or procure to pay or load tender to invoice. It's about having a solution that can handle all of those processes in the same spot. So, Shane, I do want to stop there and flip it over to Q&A.
Sure. And while we have some time, Sam, did you want
Yep.
to flash the so I know you showed us the scorecards for the different metrics that we're monitoring. Did you want to click into those and just show those trends? I don't know if you did that. I did just want to flash that for folks on the webinar here. So
Yeah.
yeah, for some of these on-time invoicing trends or on-time shipment, in an effort to prevent chargebacks, we're capturing the response times that you have with your partners here. And Sam showed the high level charts earlier, but this actually breaks down which shipment notices or which invoices were late and what the potential financial risk is with the chargebacks from that partner. So I did just want us to flash this here. Anything you would add there, Sam?
The only thing I'd add again with the linking that we offer here, it makes it really easy to go back and find those initial messages. And we can see through our own flagging here that this SLA was missed. It must be sent by this date. And obviously, we didn't adhere to that timeline. So, again, a lot of the filtering and metrics that we will track around SLAs will be populated here and are easy to understand regardless of technical know-how. Is there anything else, Shane, that comes to mind while I have this pulled up?
Yeah, I think you touched on a little bit the partner configuration for specifically the relationship manager.
Mhm.
It because we have some time, let's take a look at the network and partner tab and see some of the additional configuration that you can do on a per partner basis for the different connectivity and even some of the transaction setups that are in there. You don't need to do a full deep dive on like what an onboarding looks like, but just from a high level configuration standpoint, yeah, let's look at one of these examples.
Perfect. Yep. So this partner, Amazon, in our demo environment, obviously has a lot of flows going through, but we'll keep track of these trends throughout that relationship. We can even dig into their specific profile, the specific endpoints. Again, this is just our demo environment, so bear with us, along with the various ERM metrics as well. Shane, was there anything in specific you wanted me to cover here?
Yeah,
Perhaps.
let's open up. Oh, and we can come back to the custom metrics. If you want to touch on those, or I can talk through those here quickly. Now that it's open.
Yeah, sure. If you want to touch on these, that would be fantastic.
Sure. So Sam mentioned earlier, right, some of the out of the box monitoring that we can do on response times. And so we have that for really the core documents that you have in these partner flows, shipment notices, order acknowledgments, invoices, but you can set up custom metrics here. So if there's other transaction types that you're doing with your partners, maybe you need to acknowledge order changes within a certain amount of time. Um, or you expect to be paid on an invoice within a certain amount of time, right? You can really set up monitoring for any sort of transactions that you're doing with your partners. And we can also monitor for the data in those transactions. So if there's specific codes that you're looking for in follow-up documents, we can also build that in, some conditional logic that can be implemented. We're seeing an example here with some status messages from a carrier that we expect to send or receive. And secondly, you can set up the expected volumes that you have with those partners. So whether you expect to receive a certain amount of orders in a daily or weekly time frame, you can also set those up in here. Sam, if you click that plus button drop down, you'll see the two different configuration options that you have for those custom metrics. Very good. And then the other thing, Sam, if you want to go back to the endpoints tab and just flash the endpoints that CIC supports. So if you add a new endpoint here, yep, the type dropdown will show us all of the different endpoints that we support for connecting to whether it's some internal systems like file systems or to partner systems, right? So if you're connecting over AS2, SFTP, FTPS, this is where you would select those types and start configuring those connections. So it's a central place to monitor, set up, and manage these endpoints. And of course, for secure endpoints, you're going to have key and certificate requirements. Cleo also has built-in key insert management to allow you to import your own certificates or keys, generate new ones from the platform, and then be alerted when you need to replace expiring keys or certs. So, yep, just wanted to flash some of that additional functionality in here on a partner level. But let's take a look at any questions. Like we mentioned earlier, please drop any questions that you have in the Q&A section. But let's take a look at what we have so far. All right. So, Sam, let's see here. we have a question here. Can Clio support GS1 label creation?
Yes, we can't support GS1 label creation. We do support a variety of formats, and if your retail partners use a specific format or a proprietary format, we are able to customize labels to adhere to that. So yes, 100% GS1 labels, packing slips, master labels, really what any sort of label or document that needs to be printed and included in that shipment, Clio can support.
Awesome, awesome. And similarly on the shipment topic, can Clio support any of the ASN requirements that our partners might have?
Yeah, we are very flexible. Again, whatever sort of specifications or mandates are set upon our customers by their retail partners, we're 100% able to comply with to ensure that our customers aren't sending bad data, and that they're adhering to that retailer's format or specification.
Yep, absolutely. We see requirements for different types of information, different types of shipment structure in the ASN, whether that's including pallet, pack, or item level information. Clio can support all the different layers of ASN complexity that your partners might require. We have another question in here. Sam, you mentioned that you can support non-EDI customers. What would that look like?
Yeah, so regardless, well, I should say if that non-EDI partner is able to do some sort of direct connection, SFTP or AS2, we would be able to treat the non-EDI files as if they were EDI files. We are really any to any in that regard. But if you have a non-EDI partner, very low tech, we do even have super lightweight portal options. For your supplier or low tech partner, it doesn't feel like EDI, but on the Clio side, those documents are received as EDI. So it's a real nice way of introducing some of those low tech companies to some EDI processes without forcing them onto a very technical or complicated platform.
Very good. We have a question here from one of our on-prem customers, and so I'll take this one here. What is the risk to reward if I want to integrate this with my on-prem AS400 legacy system? So we can, absolutely. I think your Clio team can absolutely weigh all of the risks and rewards. I think some of the rewards that you get is all of the functionality that Sam just showed us today, right? The end-to-end visibility that the cockpit offers, a highly available integration engine that lives in the cloud to handle all of your transaction volumes. And really a lot of the functionality that we're focusing in on the cloud platform specifically. So that visibility layer, some of the proactive monitoring that we can do, the error resolution capabilities that Sam mentioned. So all of those are bonuses in my eyes. And as well, we enable that on-prem connectivity with our CIC agent. That's something that would sit on-prem in your private network and enable that connectivity to your AS400 system. Follows all of your security concerns that you might have. Doesn't need to open any inbound firewall rules. So I know if we have any security folks on the call, we're not poking holes in your firewall to make these integrations happen. All right, very good. So those are all the questions we have, and we're out of time. So thank you everybody for joining, and thank you Sam for running through that with all of us. Be on the lookout for the recording, and have a good afternoon, everyone.